Number two is that you need to have a personal vision statement. A personal vision statement. This is mine. Carole Thomas will capture the essence of the human spirit by delivering messages of hope, interconnection, purpose, faith, and courage throughout the world. Now, I created that in January of 1998, 10 years ago. One of the roughest points in my life. My mother was very ill at that time. And little did I realize that a few months later she was going to make her transition to glory land. About 9 or 10 months earlier, my son had been killed in an automobile accident right after high school, 6 days after high school, after graduating with his twin sister. It was a tremendously excruciatingly difficult point in my life. And it's only by the grace of God and good friends and people who held me up that I got through that period of time. But this is what happened. Is during that time, in January, snowy day like this, those words flowed into my life. Literally, I'm not making this up. In the midst of all that difficult time, and I realized that I needed probably to hit rock bottom and just push all of the unimportant stuff away in order for those words to come into my life. I don't want you to have the same kind of experience I had. I don't want you to wear an angel pin like I do every day. I don't want you to have that. But I do want you to sort of push away some time, spend some time with yourself so that you can create your own vision statement. A statement that will really capture who you are and the essence of you. And the reason why is that was created 10 years ago, and it's as true today as it was 10 years ago. At that time, I was traveling, mostly domestically in the United States, doing my work, and then some international travel, but not an awful lot. Little did I realize that 10 years later, the whole global marketplace would be a very important part of my life. See, a vision statement makes you stretch. You grow into a vision statement. You do incredible things because you put the message out there that you can reach for. And if you're interested in this, you can go to YouTube now, talking about technology, and put in Carole Thomas, and I have now a number of video presentations up on YouTube, and a whole video series now on focus on empowerment. The first one that's up there deals with creating a personal vision statement. So I would encourage you to do that. So I want you to create that kind of statement because the more you know yourself, the more confident you're going to become. And you'll know the direction that you're going in. And an excellent way to do it is with a vision statement. Is that we struggle with our identity. We're not quite sure we are bold and courageous to tell people who we are and what we stand for because we really haven't done the process of branding ourselves. You can brand yourself as a 9-to-5 person. You can do it as someone who is working for yourself, or whether you are an emerging student or whatever. If you are confident and sure of yourself, you will cease and remove yourself from the struggle of knowing who you are. That is really an important step in the confidence building that you have. I'm 54 years old. You know what my hair looked like in 2003. You know what my hair looks like now. I am free enough to share that story with a lot of people. I share lots of stories. And so as I reinforce my own identity, it removes the struggle that I go through with that. It doesn't mean I don't struggle, but it means that that level of my self-identity is very clear in my mind. I know who I am, I know where I'm from, I know who my people are, I know who my children are. I'm really confident in that. And so you need to really establish yourself from an identity perspective in removing that level of struggle. Number two is that we get caught up in not being good enough. And this is what happens. You know, I love going to spas. I really do. We are so caught up in Britney Spears and what she is or is not doing, and her sister, and what's going to happen to her television program, and all the nonsense that we see on television, that then puts us in a position where if we're not in a celebrity status or involved in some huge controversy, we're just not good enough. Right? We spend a lot of time giving away our interest and our enthusiasm to other people who have no relevance in our lives at all. And we compare ourselves. We get caught up in the danger of comparison. We're too thin, we're too thick, we're not this, we're not that, we don't live here, our business is not large enough. I get caught up in that too. And I have to really pull myself back. And that becomes identity theft for us. So we have to be very careful to not participate in our own struggle with that. Number 3 is we try to reach perfection. We want to be perfect before we start our businesses. We want to be relatively sure of what we're doing when we launch out there and say, I want a raise on my job. We're so caught up in perfection and having all of our ducks in a row that we miss opportunities. Opportunities where you may just want to jump out there and do it and fix it later because the opportunity is not going to come your way again. How many of you see those opportunities and realize those opportunities are there, and you miss it because you say, oh no, I'm not quite right, I'm too busy, I'm too that, it's just not quite right, and then the opportunity is gone. That becomes identity theft. Number 4 is that we love reruns. Now, I like reruns on television. I watch them. I'm sure you do also. You like your favorite show, whether it's Seinfeld or that famous documentary or whatever it happens to be. And now with so much cable, they have reruns all the time. You can go online and watch shows or whatever. Maybe it's Ugly Betty or whatever it happens to be. And those reruns are great for television, but so often we have reruns in our head. We have old tapes, old scripts, things that happened a long time ago that scared us or frightened us, things that we want to move away from that just were very, very uncomfortable. It made us feel very uncomfortable. And those tapes get stuck in our head and just sort of play over and over and over and over again as reruns. And before you know it, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, what you do or what you don't do. So that's what we want to sort of stay away from in terms of those reruns. And number 5 is that we're so busy, we have so little time. We can't get to the spa, we can't take care of our hair, we can't take care of just breathing a bit and calming down, that again we miss an opportunity to really reinforce who we are as people, as women, and as men. So those are the 5 identity thefts that we have to be very careful about.